calling all moms, daughters, grandmas, and women who just love to fish. This show has been customized just for you.
That's right, Rick. This week, we're seeing how the ladies are taking over the water with patience, skill, and a deep love for the outdoors on the Texas Insider Fishing Report, which starts now.
Welcome to the Texas Insider Fishing Report. Presented by Yamaha.
You're watching the Texas Insider Fishing Report, and this week we have our special theme show just in time for the Mother's Day weekend ahead as we talk about all of our amazing lady anglers out there, right, Rick?
You're absolutely right, Bree. And you know what's so cool is that a lot of our captains are going to share some cool stories that they've fished with their first mate, their wife, their girlfriend, whatever it may be. Yep. And I can't wait for you guys to hear about it because it's really, truly cool stories.
Yes, they are. All right, well, before we talk to our first guide, let's check in with Dave Farrell at the Yacht Gear Workbench. Dave, are you ready for all the lady angler talk or what?
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, me and Rick are going to tell some stories as well.
Sounds good.
I've fished with a few ladies.
A few ladies.
A few.
All right, well, let's begin in the Startron Middle Fresh region with Matt Loescher, who is now raising a tiny lady angler himself. So, Matt, we're looking at you. Let's hear it.
All right, Bree, I'm super excited to get that baby girl out as soon as she's big enough. I'll have to get some pointers from you on that one. And she'll be joining lots of lady anglers here in the Middle Fresh region. It seems like I see more and more ladies out there fishing every year. It's a growing segment of the sport, it seems like. The ladies here just love to fish. And many of them are competing with the men in the bass tournaments, too. It's just a ton of fun. I love seeing them out there. Miss Stephanie Pellerin, you guys have heard me talk about her before. She's always a standout in that category. You guys need to look her up. She can definitely give lots of pointers to any ladies looking at interested in getting into the women's bass fishing. She calls the Middle Fresh region home here at Sam Rayburn. She's always kicking butt all over the country. I've got several all-women groups that fish with me every year here on Toledo Bend as well. A lot of them like to fish for the crappie and the white bass out on the pontoon boats with us. And, man, we always have a great time when they come. I love the all-ladies groups. They're always interested in just having fun and doing some catching, and it's just a blast having them on the boat. So we're going to start off, actually, this week. I'm going to switch it up this week. I'm going to get into some white bass and some hybrids since we're talking about them. And we're going to start off on Toledo Bend. The white bass bite has been excellent lately. The white bass really stack up when that current is running, and we've had a lot of current lately. The lake is flooded right now still, and they're letting a ton of water out through the dam. We got generators running and spillway gates open, so lots of moving water through Toledo Bend right now. And all that moving water has those whites really stacked up on the sides of the point in about 15 to 25 feet of water. Jigging style baits like that Savage Gear glass minnow you've been hearing me talk about works great for catching them. It's a lot of fun doing that, and they're very aggressive. And we got a photo here for you of myself with a table full of white bass and some amazing lady anglers that caught them just this week. So just talking about that, and there you go. There it is.
All right. What else you got for us this week, Bob?
We're going to talk about some more white bass on Sam Rayburn. Pretty much the same story. Main Lake Point, full of hungry white bass in about 15 to 25 feet. I hear they're kind of working their way down the lake, so you might want to start checking some of those points down closer to the dam. Then up to Richland Chambers, white bass are out in 20 to 25 feet there, biting the jigging baits. And then the hybrids there are biting as well, but they're out deep too, 20 to 25 feet around 309 and Pelican Island there, according to Mr. Thurman Selman. Now we're going to switch it over to largemouth. Got a good report from my old buddy, Mr. Jared Poole. He's been at it again, catching tons of big fish like they always do over there. He tells me that the topwater bite has been on fire. They're catching fish up to double-digit size on topwater plugs. He says they're catching fish on frogs, under docks, and on the grass. And then they're also catching them on the surface plugs around the seawalls. So it's just topwater, topwater, topwater at LBJ. So lots of big fish coming that way. Now we're going to go over to OH Ivy. I haven't reported on Ivy in a while, but it's still producing monster bass. Jared and the Hill Country Hammer crew have been working there lately as well, and they've caught some absolute giants, as they always do. Jared says that the spawn there is almost over with, so for the post-spawn bite, you're going to want to go with topwater baits and Carolina rigged worms out on the flats. And we're going to drop a bomb on you right here. Jared sent me an absolute beast of a bass. Put that photo up there of Mr. Larry Wilson. That is a 15.32-pound largemouth bass right there.
What is that?
Damn it, man.
Insane.
Are you kidding? We got groupers in Texas. I love it, dude. Just come on with it.
Yeah, that is just an absolute giant. That thing is a freak of nature. Jared and those guys are just killing it over there.
Wow.
All right, where else we got in Richland Chambers?
Yes, sir. We're going to Richland Chambers. Bass are still shallow around the brush there, but they're about done spawning. Mr. Thurman Selman with Bass Specialty says that bladed jigs are the way to go right now, and the Bass Assassin Plastics fish just outside the brush is also producing fish. And before I leave you, I'll touch on the crappie real fast. Toledo Bend, it's changed up a little bit this week. We're getting these crazy influxes of water. They had begun to get on the timber pretty good, but unfortunately that big water movement has kind of messed them up a little bit, kind of scattered them out. But they are still sitting in about 15 to 25 foot. They just moved down near the bottom. That current running hard kind of pushes them out of those trees and down toward the bottom, so they're a little harder to find, but they're still around. And then over at Sam Rayburn, I'm hearing more good reports from the crappie bite over there right now. They've begun stacking up on the timber and the bridge pilings about 15 to 25 feet, biting minnows and jigs.
All right, bud, thank you so much. Thanks for starting us off. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the Rodan Marine Systems middle fresh hotspot. He said the white bass are hot, especially on the lakes where there's lots of moving current. The largemouth are hammering topwater baits at LBJ, and they're still around the bushes in Richland Chambers. So go get them, guys.
Go get them. All right, the Fish Bites Middle Coast Region captain is always sending in photos of his beautiful wife on the water catching. So, Bank, it's your turn to talk about the ladies. Go for it.
You there, Bink?
Bank! Bank, are you there?
Well, let me grab his report while we try to get him on the phone. So Bink basically says, Bree, that some of the most memorable fishing trips as a charter captain has been with his wife on the boat. Women seem to listen.
Yes.
They put into practice what you're teaching them without letting the manly pride get in the way. Hence, most of the fishing tips with the girls have been rod bending affairs. He loves fishing with his wife. He really gets excited when when she gets excited when the fish rip off some drag. And I'm a proud husband when she makes a perfect cast and immediately is rewarded with a solid bite. Women are in it for the day. They catch a few fish, they have a few snacks, have a drink or two, and they get a little sunshine. They're the perfect clients, according to our Captain Bink.
I agree.
All right, so he wants to also talk about the trout action has been really good while drifting Bass Assassins, Bink, with live over deep shell. Go ahead, Bink. Go ahead.
Hey, East Matagorda Bay trout at 7 pounds been caught on the top waters, slow sinking fast plastic. Charlie Perodowski and Kevin Koshik caught trout on live shrimp under mid-coast popping corks. And Palacios, the upper reaches of Tres Bay and Caronquo Bay have been good along the shorelines. God Ray Sexton said those reefs have been holding lots of live shrimp under cork and bass assassins. Rockport anglers have been tossing Texas coastal corkies and soft tines along the sand and grass humps near Shamrock Cove. Jetty anglers, they've been fishing along the rocks on live shrimp. Our water temperatures are up around 80 degrees now, and in fact, I'm going to go make a wade tomorrow right around the jetty, and because it's heating up and those trout are coming in from the surf. There's a photo there. These ladies enjoyed a birthday charter early this spring and caught, and we're happy to release, and we thank them for them, and we appreciate all our lady anglers. Redfish action has been hot and cold for the last 30 days. That's nothing to do for this transitional period from spring to summer. They're here one day and move on to the next. Our swollen tides have pushed redfish in Matagorda to the back lakes, Crab Lake and Horse Trader Lake. We're poling down with dual 10-foot PowerPole blades, and it's holding us right in position, even with these high 25-knot winds we've been having. Boggy Lake and East Bay has been good, while anchored on shorelines of mullet and crabs. North shoreline reefs around the ICW have been solid on shrimp. There's some monster redfish in Port O'Connor, Matagorda, Port Aransas, and the Freeport jetties on finger mullet and pogies. Expect better catches around the rocks on that incoming tide on mullet and shrimp. There's lots of black drum as well where all these redfish are hanging. The edges of the shell and mud are good around Shell Island in Matagorda and around Bastrop Bay around the Freeport area. Offshore, Gulf waters reached 79 degrees this week. They're even trying to get to 80, but winds have made it tough to take advantage of it. Red snapper's been a good bet, but you have to brave those high seas Lots of seaweeds beginning to float along the beach on the incoming tide. Work those weed lines for dolphin, triple tail, and a few kings. Shark action's been good around the jetties on mullet and sardines. Hey, look here, May is here. The summer is right in front of us. Let's keep making conservation a priority on our fishery and releasing more than you take. It's a blessing to be able to fish Texas Middle Coast. Let's do everything we can to make it better every day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, my mother, my wife, and all the mothers. Moms are truly a blessing, and we appreciate them all.
All right, bud, thank you so much. Sorry we dropped you at the beginning. That's technology, so we'll talk to you again next week. He says the Mirror Lure Middle Coast hotspots, the trout are good while the drifting reefs in East Matagorda Bay on bass assassins and live shrimp under a mid-coast popping cork. And then redfish are solid in the back lakes and the jetties on fish bites and occasional shrimp.
Fish bites, here we go. All right, we're hearing all about the butt-kicking women in the Upper Fresh region coming up. But first, Dave is over at the Yak Gear workbench for rigs and techniques. Dave, what are we giving the gals today?
Well, we're going to talk about this nice passion rod.
Oh.
Aptly named, huh?
It is.
Passion.
It's a great name.
It's a very passionate rod.
And rose gold is the color.
Isn't it?
I love it.
Very nice.
We'll be right back.
That's the right
Very nice.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Ameritrail. Load, launch, relax. Fenwick. Feel everything. Bahio. Blue light blocking, radically clear polarized fishing sunglasses. Sportsman's Adventures with Captain Rick Murphy. 30 years of fishing for adventure. Berkeley. Your fish, our science. And Skeeter Performance Fishing Boats. Eat, sleep, fish.
Well, here we are at the Yak Gear workbench, and it's
Yes,
time
sir.
for rigs and techniques. Dave, let's talk a little bit about ladies and what they need to know.
Well, first off, we're gonna start with this Pin Passion 2 here. This is a rod that's made for the ladies. I say it's made for the ladies. Any guy could use it just as well. I mean, it's a really nice rod and reel combo. It's the Pin Passion 2 combo. It's stronger and smoother and more durable than the last one that they made. It's more of a beefier little rod. It's got a full metal body and side plates. It's got the HT100 carbon fiber drags, just like the ones we use to catch marlin with. And it's 5+1 stainless steel ball bearings inside there on a graphite composite blank. It's got pinned the Dura guides and machined aluminum reel seat. So it's just a really nice rod and reel combo. Premium cork handles. And some of the select models come with Hypalon, but I like cork myself.
Listen,
for $170, I mean, it's a really, really nice
and
Mother's Day gift.
Obviously it's rose gold, but I've learned.
I kind of like rose gold myself. So
Yes,
I could sport that easily.
I've learned that in the case of fishing with Kathy, she's left-handed, and in most cases, we have all our rods set up for fishing with charters. Most guys are reel with their left hand. She casts with her left hand and wants to have her own rod.
Yep.
And I think it's really
That's the
important
Aussie
for
way.
us to understand, even though they might not go as often as the boys go,
Right.
when they do go, they want to feel like we've to make it some special effort to make their day of fishing
Right.
even more simple and more enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't take my wife or my daughter nearly as much as I should. And just recently, I was scouting a lot I was fishing in a surf fishing tournament. So I drug them along. I had to drag my daughter, but my wife volunteered to go on some scouting trips with me, and we had a blast. I mean, I get as much joy out of watching them reel a fish in as I do reeling one in myself, but probably way more watching them do it. So I got to have a lot of fun doing that with them. And for a couple of things you have to be patient. Don't assume that they know everything that you know.
Those are the mistakes I've made in my own house.
Yeah, exactly.
She's been around it for 45
Yes.
years, so you would assume,
yeah,
that she would know. And
Right.
because they don't go every day, they
don't know.
They don't know.
And if they go a lot, they will know, and they'll probably do it better than you. God forbid, don't yell at them. Don't yell at your wife or your daughter, because it's a long ride home if you do that. And it's a quick long ride home because it's safe.
And the timeout lasts a lot longer than the fishing day.
Right. And just be patient and help them when you can, and back off when they don't need help.
Right.
You know, don't be getting in their business. You know, they're perfectly capable of doing it by themselves. You know, we all want to hover and make sure that they're doing everything perfect like we want to do it, and that's just the wrong way to do it. You know, I've taken my wife all over the world fishing in some of the best spots. She's much more likely to listen to the first mate on the boat than anything that I say. That's
Correct.
for sure.
That's correct.
She does not want to hear stuff from me. She would much rather hear it from someone else. So if you've got that option, go with that.
Yes.
But you'll be surprised how much they enjoy it and how much you enjoy watching them do it. I mean, that's one of the big pluses for me of bringing them is I love to watch anybody catch their first something, but when it's your wife or your daughter or something, it makes it so much better.
And I agree with you, and I agree with what Bink said. In most cases, it's not, they don't have to take it as serious.
Correct.
So what we need to do, guys, is make sure that we have good food on the boat. The Murphys are foodies.
Yes, they are.
So we have to have good food. And if she wants to lay out and get a little sun, it's no different than the reason why we don't like to go to the beach, because if we can go to the beach and fish all day, then everybody's cool.
Right.
So I think our big mistake is that we make taking our wives, or if you're not married, your girlfriend, and we make it too serious for them. We got to remind ourselves to keep it as fun as we possibly can.
Right, exactly.
This was fun. I like this.
This was so much fun. I am just enlightened over here. You guys did a good job.
I'm sure you
I'm
are.
so enlightened. All right, there are plenty of fish catching opportunities for the ladies in the Upper Fresh region. So let's hear what our guide, Mike McFarland, has to say about them. Go for it, Mike.
Hey, Bree. Hey, Dave, you are so spot on with the ladies. Listen, I've been guiding for 20 years, and I can't tell you how many times I've had women come fishing with their husbands, and they just sit in the back of the boat, but believe it or not, they almost always catch more fish or the bigger fish. With that being said, this is most definitely a ladies are welcome type sport. High school fishing teams are experiencing many young ladies. College teams are experiencing the ladies being the competitive teams. They're beginning to join and dominate in this sport. The competitive bass fishing world is welcoming ladies into the major leagues even, and I truly believe very soon we will be crowning them as the greatest of champions archive. Like Dave said, with that being said, I think take your lady, take a friend, take a young'un, give them a true chance. Explain to them. Don't expect them to know it all, but if you really give them a chance, I believe you'll be surprised at how well they can fish and how well they'll catch fish. But let's say about some largemouth bass fishing here in Upper Fresh. Ray Hubbard with Joe Shipley. The bass are good. They're on the shallow grass lines. Spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, and shad colors are working well. Bass are starting to move out on the points, so later in the day you can go to the shaky heads with the Berkeley trick worms. I like green pumpkin chartreuse and watermelon candy. So does Joe. Possum Kingdom with Pete Hernandez. Full Pool Lake's a little stained. Bass are actually starting to pull up to spawn there. It's a bit behind, but they are. Male bass are on the bed spawning. You can see the females within inside of them. I like a Bass Assassin Fat Job stick bait. It's really good, just weightless, or Texas rig. Also, if you see the bedfish, you can use those creature baits from Bass Assassin like the whoopie craw. But green pumpkin and black and blue are your best colors. And another bait to good throw on bedfish or any kind of swim bait, little 3-inch swim bait. Jay Bonner, Lake Athens. Bass fishing is good around grass lines, main lake points. The Bass Assassin Vapor Shad, the Bass Assassin Fat Job is working well. Also jigs tipped with the whoopie craw trailers. Those are working good on main lake points. Bodark Lake, it's still on fire. It's the lake to fish up here in the Upper Fresh. Topwater, spinnerbaits, chatterbaits, anything chartreuse and white until you get bit. You want to cover water when you get bit. Slow down, break out a flipping rod, and pitch and flip those Texas rig creature baits like the Bass Assassin Whoopie Craw or the Skunk Ape. Again, there's that watermelon candy with the claws dip chartreuse. I got friends that are putting 40, 50 fish a day in the boat, and that's outstanding because these are 2 to 5 to even 7-pound bass. Lake Fork, things are pretty good here. Topwater bite early morning. Shad spawn started. Look for the blue herons and the white egrets. I like the Berkeley Jaywalker, the Bullet Pop, or the El Chapo in the colored bone. Here's what we call a Lake Fork special, just a very common fish to Lake Fork.
Beauty.
You still there, bub?
Crappie.
Tell us about the crappies.
Lake Fork with guide Jackie Wiggins. The crappie fishing been a little bit sporadic this week with the heavy rains, the big winds, dirty water, but you can still find white crappie in 10 to 18 feet. Hand-tied jigs and natural colors are the best in the clear water, like blues, grays, and greens. You get in the dirtier water, run to the dark green, dark orange, or combination of green and dark green and orange, and minnows. Jackie says minnows are always a good go-to bait here on Fork. And here is a big table of crappie. Someone's eating good.
Yeah, man, that looks delicious. All right, tell us what else you got going this week, Bub.
Stripers and hybrids on Levon with Kerry Thorne, Main Lake, 2 to 20 feet. Look for the threadfin shad spawn, 3 to 4 inch swim baits around those birds and the shad spawning shallow. Later on, move deep, 15 to 20 foot of water with 1 ounce slab spoons. Kerry's famous for this, but Kerry loves to take and tie a hair jig about 18 inches above a slab spoon. And once those fish get in those deep points, they get a little deeper, he's vertical jigging those, and he'll actually catch 2 fish at a time, which is really fun. Lake Tawakoni, Matt Cartwright, stripers are on fire there. The hybrid and sand bass is also really good. Look for the early morning shad spawn, again with 3 to 4 inch shad-colored paddle tail swim baits, and then move out deep, 20, 35 feet with spoons. And here is a big giant striper, and look at this table of fish.
Woo!
Wow. All right, you got 30
One more quick
seconds
one
on
if
the
we got
kitty
it.
cats.
Catfish excellent just about any lakes up here. Any one of the lakes, they're running the banks, chasing the shad spawn. And then here's a Lake Fork table of catfish. Someone's filling the freezer and eating good.
Nice.
Perfect.
Man, you're making me hungry there, Bub. Thank you. Great report. We're going to go and take a look at the Ducks Unlimited hotspots from the Upper Fresh region. He says the boat, what is it?
Boyd Ark.
Boat Ark continues to offer some of the hottest bass fishing. Fishermen are consistently boating an excess of 40 bass per day, with many ranging in 5 to 7 pound class. The best baits are frogs, topwaters, and flipping soft plastics in and around the flooded dead trees and bushes. Boat Ark.
BDA Lake, that's what we're calling it. The Key West
BDA
Marlin
Lake.
Tournament is coming up July 17th
There
through
it
the
is.
20th for your shot at fishing for some serious cash in the sun-drenched Keys. This is more than a competition. It's a high-stakes adventure with hundreds of thousands of dollars up for grabs, where every catch could lead you to victory. Join the ranks of fishing aficionados in the grand tradition of Hemingway himself and make your mark in the Florida Keys. Get registered today at keywestmarlin.com.
We used to have lots of Texas guys fish that Key West
Yes.
Marlin tournament. Guys, you got to come back. It's a blast. Hope to see you there.
A total blast. All right, the Upper Coast and Lower Fresh regions are showing off what their lady anglers are catching next. Plus, we're saying hi to our friend from PowerPole. So stay hooked and remember to keep up with everything fishing in Texas. Scan that QR code on your screen to check out all of our social media pages. Our YouTube channel, Captain Rick Murphy, of course, where you can see new fishing adventures along with reports and more. Plus, on our website, we have our brand new show merchandise to enhance your fishing wardrobe. So scan away and get yours now. We'll be back.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin, the best lures, period. Berkeley, your fish, our science. Murphy's Law Sport Fishing. Book your trip today at murphyslawsportfishing.com. Abyss Battery. Power your pursuit. Ducks Unlimited. Leader in wetlands conservation. Rodan. Set it, forget it, catch more fish. Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome. And Penn. Let the battle begin.
Today's PowerPole tip is about the PowerPole blade, guys. We're talking about the #1 selling shallow water anchor in the world, and the reason why I like it so much as a fishing guide, or maybe if you're an elite tournament angler, this is a pole that you should look at, because it comes in an 8 and a 10-foot option. So when it comes to anchoring in deep water, we have the ability to touch the bottom. And speaking about touching the bottom, the blade has the strongest anchor hold, as well as it is the fastest when it comes to deploying and getting down to the bottom. Now, when the blade is up, it's 20% more aerodynamic because of how thin it is and with the holes being drilled in it. So keep in mind, guys, that it comes in a red, white, blue, as well as black color options. If you have any questions about the PowerPole blade, certainly go to PowerPole.com, and that's today's PowerPole tip. Well, speaking of PowerPole, joining me from PowerPole is Dan Benson. You know, Danny, last week we talked about the One Pump, and we felt like it's an important upgrade in the product line that we really want to explain it more. So why don't we just get right into it?
Absolutely. I think a big key of the One Pump is first the size. If you notice, When you ran duals in the past, you had to put 2 hydraulic pumps in your boat. But now if you get an 8 or a 10-foot blade, all you put is this small 1 pump. So you save a lot of space and weight in your boat.
I love the fact that what happened is a lot of people thought because you were going to create 1 pump, it was going to be 1 giant pump. And as we can well see, it's certainly the same size as 1 traditional pump.
It's true. Our engineers put a lot of hard work into keeping it small and lightweight, but they also worked on making it very quick and easy to install. So the 1 pump pops in and out of the bracket just like that. So your installation time was cut in half, less pump and quicker into the boat.
So let's talk about some of the other features. It operates both power poles at the same time.
It does. You run both poles at the same time, but you're using less amperage. So you're actually better on your battery. It's made out of billet aluminum, so it's extremely precise and smooth and quiet when it operates. We incorporated a pressure relief valve, so if the poles do get stuck down, you can pick them up from inside the boat easier than ever before.
Now, can we operate the pump with multiple speeds?
Absolutely. It's got a newly designed remote control, so you still have fast, medium, and slow speeds, and the traditional up and down.
Okay, so what models is offered with the 1 pump currently?
The 1 pump is currently available on our 8 and 10-foot blade.
All right, so Danny, we always talk about the quality and the quality control of what the PowerPole brand really is. Let's talk a little bit about warranty, and so how does that work?
Yes, the cool thing is this whole pump is built and machined in the Tampa Bay area. Our call center, everything we do is in the Tampa Bay area, and if you need anything nationwide, you can call us locally or go to your local PowerPole dealer for any warranty work.
Any tech support, whether it's a PowerPole pump, a PowerPole itself, a charge, or even now your new trolling motor. Danny, where do we go to find out more information about any PowerPole product?
Cool. To get all the specs about the 1 pump, you can go to powerpole.com or pick up the phone and call us.
There you go, guys, straight from the horse's mouth. Where are we going next there, Bree?
All right, our Captain Weston in the Front Runner Boats Upper Coast region loves the lady anglers on his boat, especially one lady in particular who can also outfish all the guys. Talk to us, Carl.
Hey, guys, yeah. Let's start off this week by recognizing all the lady anglers in our sport. There's a lot of them. Now, it's not a stretch for me. Like you said, I wake up to my real-life mermaid every morning, my wife, Natasha, who is definitely my favorite fishing partner. But I come from a whole family of ladies. I'm the only boy. So I've been getting ganged up on for many, many years. My sister Jenny and I have fished together since we were little kids, and we still fish together. She comes to Texas, fishes with me. It's so much fun down at the marina in the morning to watch the young ladies here and up at the dock in the morning, the excitement to hit the water and outfish the guys in their boat, you know. So the girls showing interesting fishing at this young age really gives promise to our next generation of lady anglers. And we captains all have a saying, if you want to catch a big fish, take a lady with you, and she'll show you up every time, in my case anyways. So I have a picture today of Natasha, her mom, and her sister headed out with their favorite captain, of course.
Man, look how pretty those girls are, man. If I was in the boat with those girls, we're going to lunch. We ain't going fishing. All right. What else is happening?
So, hey, the black drum bite has stayed steady. You know, these high water conditions from all the rain has pushed bait back into the little ponds, and the little blue crabs and bait is just everywhere. This black drum are having a blast back there feeding. So get out there right now. You can watch them back there pushing topwater back on those flats. So rig to keep your bait shallow is I like to use a slip cork with a heavy eagle claw treble hook. Cut shad or cut blue crab is going to be your best bet. Cast, you see them out there waking, running away, get it out in front of them. If live bait is not available, guys, the fish bite, chunks, and blue crab, I'm telling you, it works. It has the same scent. The fish love it. And don't forget your Starbright line of boat supplies. It's spring. Clean those boats up. We don't want a dirty boat. We've got a picture today of Haley with her first black drum.
Wow, that's good job, Haley. Let's go offshore, bub.
Let's go. It's early in the upper coast, but our best friend the Dorado is in town already. You know, those offshore current breaks have started to gather up grass and debris, and along with that comes bait fish. These Dorado right now are small this time of year, but you can't beat the fun, guys. You know, Penn makes a large selection of medium-sized spinning combos that is just tailor-made for this kind of action. little gold spoons right now or a cut squid on a tiny treble hook is pure money. Throw a little chum in the water, keep these guys interested. Try to leave one on the hook like we've always said. You'll keep that school close to the boat and you'll catch a lot more fish. I have a picture today of Natasha with a little chicken dorado.
There you go.
Off-duty mermaid. There she
There
is.
she is.
Yeah. So let's go deep now. Let's talk about, with these weather windows between the fronts this month, don't miss out. We've had some beautiful calm days where we can run deep. Those beautiful golden towel fish, I've seen some really nice ones brought in lately. They're catching these fish in the 1,000-foot range right now as you come up from the deeper water. So I rig with a 4 to 5 hook towel fish rig, and depending on the current, I'll start with like 3 pounds. Sometimes go up to 6. It's not as bad as your current there, but it gets a little stiffer sometimes. Cut squid, any kind of a bait fish. Tip it with that fish bites like we talked about, a glow stick or a light. I usually drift until we hook up, then I'll hit the stop on my Rodan. If you're dropping with electric reels, guys, the Abyss battery is your only option. This amazing little guy allows you to move around the entire boat, never be tied up to that stinking cord anymore, and you will just catch a lot more fish. And today we have young Lizzie with a beautiful towel fish.
Man, you did so good with all of the stuff. Thank you so much. You got anything else for us? Are we done? No, we're done. All right, thank you so much. It is time for the Upscale Glass Company hotspots from the Upper Coast region. He says inshore, targeting black drum while fishing the grassy backwaters and tossing cut blue crab with a slip cork, rigged with an eagle claw treble hook. And then if you want to go offshore, chase those mahis, guys, in the current breaks and the grass lines while casting small gold spoons, or maybe put a treble hook and a little piece of bait on there and catch every single one of them.
Like those girls in the front runner boats Upper Coast region just did. They
That's
cleaned
right.
it up. All right, we're checking in with the Lower Fresh region where the ladies are catching them big with Matt Reed on Falcon, Choke Canyon, and Fayette County. So let's get them hooked, Matt.
All right, let's kick this thing off. It's kind of interesting here lately. I've had a lot of ladies come on trips. It's been a blast, and it's been great because the fish are biting well. And I always tell the women, don't hesitate to come. Come with your fella, bring your kid, or just come on your own. We'll have a ball. I can cater the trip to your skill level, so don't worry about it. And just get out in the outdoors and enjoy it, and I promise you we will get some fish caught. I usually target bass, but I can target crappie if we need to on the lady trips. But, the main thing is just get out in the outdoors and enjoy it. It's an adventure, and dadgummit, just get out here and enjoy it along and have some fun. I got a couple of pictures of some ladies on some trips from last week. I've got Sandy with a great big old Falcon special, and then Emily with her son. She came and brought him, her high school kid, and we just had a ball catching a whole lot of fish.
Love it. Tell us about the largemouth this week, Bub.
All right, Falcon Lake has just been insane lately. They're biting at a crazy pace. The falling water has pulled them all out of the shallow cover, and they're all out on the rocks. Early in the morning, you can throw a Frittside 5 and catch massive numbers with some good ones mixed in. After that, I'm picking up a shaky head with a Cinco on it and just keeping catching all day long. I mean, we've had several hundred fish days lately. It's just been a blast. Mike Bates sent me a report for Choke Canyon. The shad spawn is still going on, but doesn't last very long. It's usually over by 7:30 or 8 o'clock. You can throw a square bill, any type of shad, moving bait, shad imitation is catching those. And there's all species mixed in. He says he caught a bass on the front hook and a white bass on the back hook the other day. They're all just mixed in, feeding on the buffet of the shad spawn. Later on, you're getting your Texas rig, your Carolina rig, or a deep crankbait, moving out to that 6 to 15 feet of water on the points, humps, and ridges, and locating them out there. And he's also just catching a whole lot of fish. Greg Boyk sent a report from Somerville. It's been good out on the main lake points where the shads have been spawning. Use lipless crankbaits or chatterbaits or square bills to load up some good fish. Fayette County, being a hot water lake, fish are already out on the deep structure. Main lake points and ledges, 15 to 20 foot with football jigs and Carolina rigs, or a heavy shaky head, it has been producing some really good fish over there. I got a picture here this week with one of Mike Bates's clients from Choke Canyon, just a typical fish of what they've been catching.
All right, tell us about the catfish, Pop.
All right, Ram Reyes, let me report from Falcon. Catfish has been really good. It typically is down there, lots of blue cat. Keeper size blues and channels have been the best in that 5 to 10 foot range on shrimp and shad. To target that trophy blue cat, he uses fresh cut carp or tilapia. Right now, you need to get out on the edge of the creeks or the river drops to target those big cats. Drop that fresh cut bait down there and hang on.
All right, man. It was a great report. Thank you so much for all the great pictures of the ladies. And there's a big one there as we speak.
That is a big one for sure. You go, girl.
Thank you so much, Matt. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the hot spots from the lower fresh region. He said Choke Canyon, the bass are still on fire. The shad spawn is kicking really early in the morning for an hour or so, and then the shad imitation baits will load the boat later. You're going to move out on the main lake drop-offs in 10 to 15 feet of water with Texas rig and deep running crankbaits to keep the action rolling. Lots of numbers and some size as well.
Size is always good.
Yes.
I like the size. All right, well, we've been talking about it for weeks, but it's time to get ready for the 30th annual Skeeters Owners Tournament at Lake Fork. Thousands of Skeeter owners traveled to celebrate the world's first bass boat and fish for their chance to win up to $200,000 in cash and prizes. Make sure you get registered today and come join us for a weekend to remember, June 6th through the 9th, by scanning the QR code right there on your screen. I hear it's a fun time, so make sure you get registered.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
How
All
could
right.
it not be?
How could it not be?
Bass
Lake
fishing
Fork's
in June?
on Lake
Come
Fork. On Lake Fork. All right, our last stop for the ladies is going to be in the Sea Sucker Lower Coast region, but not before we give Dave Farrell a chance to show off some Taco Marine new products at the Yak Gear Workbench. Are you taking us last day Mother's Day shopping?
Yes, I am. If your mother would like to have one of these.
She might. I'm a mother.
She might.
I want one.
But, you know.
Bree wants her own
Maybe
taco
that
My
could be.
Savage Gear mullet.
Come on.
Could that be my Mother's Day gift?
Sure.
Then? Thanks.
It's yours.
We'll be back.
The Texas Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Abu Garcia, Fish to Win, Fenwick, Feel Everything, Berkeley Pro Spec Chrome, Island Lures, Tournament Tackle, Sea Sucker, easy on, easy off, incredibly strong. Turn on the bite anytime. Tie on a Miro lure. Front Runner Boats, performance-built offshore fishing boats made in the USA. And Startron, start, run, and store with Startron.
Well, we're back over here at the Yak Gear Workbench, and it's time for the Taco Marine new products. You know, Dave, every week we get to talk about some cool stuff that we've used or evaluated, and here this week is no exception.
And we get to do some pronunciation there. With
Okay.
our, what do you call that? Can you read that word on the
man,
top?
charcuterie.
Almost. Charcuterie.
Okay.
If you know, for some reason, I think it's because all the kids, 10 or 15 years ago were eating Lunchables.
Yes.
All the adults now are wanting their charcuterie, their bolognas and salamis and cheeses and
their spreads.
Yeah, and their spreads in a box. And this is the charcuterie safe from SubSafe. SubSafe made those really nice little containers you could put a whole sub in.
Correct.
And just throw it into the cooler. Well, this is the same thing for your charcuterie.
Yes.
Comes with a nice little cheese knife in there, 2 little containers that you can put your hummus or your honey or whatever people like to
Mustard,
spreads.
whatever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can adjust it. It's coming with all the
Create your
little
own
walls in there,
dividers,
so
yeah.
you can adjust it how you need necessary. And it's BPA safe. It's a food safe product. So just don't think you can go out, like Bree said, and get a Plano tackle box or something, because this is made for food.
Right.
And it's got the nice silicone ring inside so that it's completely waterproof. You can just toss it into the cooler with all the ice and everything. You don't have to worry about it getting all messed up.
Where do we go to find out about
the
it?
4-piece set there.
Oh, 4-piece set. Come on.
At thesubsafe.com. It's thesubsafe. Yeah, .com to get that.
Okay.
It's 14 by 9 by 2.5 inches. So
Love it.
next we have the Savage Gear Pulse Tail Mullet. It's a line through bait. You can either fish that treble hook under the belly like I got there, or up on top. The line goes through the bait, and it comes in 6 colors, 2 sizes, a 6-inch and an 8-inch, and 3 different sizes: a 1 3/4 ounce, a 3 7/8 ounce, and a 2 2/3 ounce. And they got a couple that'll sink slow and a couple that'll sink pretty fast. 3 to 8 feet or 6 to 14 feet. It'll tell you on the package what they do. And you do get the moderate or fast, like I just said, moderate or fast sinking versions. Pulse tail, lifelike swimming action. You can fish it slow or fast. It's got a built-in rattle as well. And like I said, you can hook it in the belly or the back, which is really awesome.
Ridge and I are using this as dredges. We do a double trier dredge.
I bet you that's nice.
with no hooks. The cool part is it comes to where it's very easy to pre-rig it, and then you can put an islander or you can run it naked.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you, it's the next way to make dredges.
Yep. Well, I'm sure the Savage Gears boys will like that, because that'll be an expensive dredge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you rinse it off and put it in the engine room and it's dry.
Yeah, that's true. Next, we have the Berkeley Dime. It's a crankbait. 21 different color combinations for this crankbait. They come in 4 different sizes: a 4, 6, a 10, and 15, and those are named after the depth that they'll go. Flash disc technology achieves a balsa-like action with the durability of a plastic. I used to love Berkeley balsas back in the day. Weight transfer system for the further casting in the number 4 and number 6 versions.
Yes.
And they have sticky sharp Fusion 19 hooks on them.
Yes.
They have a really nice finish as well.
I really like the way they look, dude.
They are very nice.
It's making
looking.
me want to go bass fishing.
Yeah, they are very nice. I love crankbaits too.
This guy is not going to stand up for you, Dave.
No, he's not. He keeps falling over.
He's face heavy.
Next, we got the Fenwick Elite rods. There are 6 versions: an inshore casting spinning version, an inshore casting version and a spinning version. There's a bass casting and spinning version, and there's salmon steelhead casting and spinning. 69 different models in those versions as well.
Wow.
Ranging from 6 feet, 8 inches, all the way up to 10 foot. They're really nice because they got a 36 to 30 ton graphite blank with a proprietary resin, and they're extremely sensitive, yet still will punch really hard when you go to set the hook.
Right.
Really nice tailored foregrip in the front, and a really cool natural feel reel seat. You like that reel seat a lot.
I love this reel seat because, as you can see, guys, when I grab it, I can actually feel the blank itself. So the slightest little bite, boom.
They're very, very sensitive.
I got 'em.
They got the titanium guide frames that are they're super thin, and they have zirconia inserts. And like I said, they make them all the way up to 10 foot. I think this is an 8 foot.
This is the 8 extra heavy, which is
heavy.
Perfect for throwing a jig to a ling. When the tarpons show up in Texas, they can be able to throw their coon pops.
Right.
So this is really going to be.
They go all the way up to 80 to
well.
100 pound. I think that's 30 to 40 pound.
Right.
But they come in all different sizes, and they're really, really nice rods with that premium cork handle and everything.
Unbelievably light.
Very, very nice.
All right, you did a wonderful job tonight, Mr. Farrell. Dave, Bree, it's your turn.
Yep, it is. Well, I'm taking the charcuterie and I'm taking the mullet. Happy Mother's Day to me.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
There you go.
The Sea Sucker Lower Coast region is loaded with big fish and fun times, especially when there is a lady angler reeling them in, which Captain Chad Kinney has plenty of firsthand experience with, don't you, Chad?
Yeah, I sure do. Shoot, my wife loves fishing, which is great. It's kind of how we met. And I've got 3 daughters, and it's kind of great. Everybody's got kids, or some people do, but one likes bay, one likes wading, one's like blue water. There's just all over, so I got it all covered. But talking about the women anglers, it's great. I love watching this stuff. I've seen more and more of them. We own a marina down here. I see more of the women anglers getting out there to the outdoors and fishing, which is really great. As I said, I got 3 daughters, and I really like to see the enjoyment and appreciating the bay system and both offshore with it. There are many women tournaments going on over the years. They keep on increasing. They keep on adding more. They do inshore tournaments, offshore tournaments, all catering to the women anglers. Sometimes they can have them, guys as a guide for them only, but they can't fish, which is kind of neat. And it's also a great way, if you're not fishing tournaments, stuff like that, if you got kids or don't have kids, it's a great way to spend time with your significant other, or definitely some family time, whether you're fishing from a bank, or going just for a boat ride and, do a little fishing afterwards. Like I said, my daughters now, they're getting into wade fishing. They're getting the kayaking. They want to drive their own boat. They're getting the blue water fishing. So it's a good time to get out there and enjoy the family stuff, especially women anglers, and getting those tournaments and starting enjoying the stuff. It's an older picture here, but I got a picture of a big old yellowfin my wife caught on a 186-pound yellowfin. But the cool thing is, if you look at that pic, it's a Penn 16-wide International that she was using on stand-up. So she bought the thing for 45 minutes, and I've been using Penn since, back when I was a kid in the 80s.
Yes, you have. All right, what else you got for it going off? Tell us about the trout fishing.
Monster tuna. So, moving over, switching from that, and the women get into the trout fishing. Trout fishing is really picking up down here out of Port Mansfield, the West Shoreline, King Ranch area, all the way up to Gladys's Hole and up in the land cut there. Look for some bait moving up early in the morning. Work those shorelines. Don't be scared to throw that top water, a foot or two off the bank, out to 3 to 4 foot of water where those grass beds and potholes are at. Wade fishing works really good there. But early in the morning, we've been throwing some mirror lure Top Dog Juniors. It's working really good. And some saltwater assassin sea shad, like using those up there, but mainly more around that 3 to 4 foot of water in those grass beds. Work those grass beds and work them early. The reason I'm saying early, one, you get a morning bite that's early, that's better. But the wind's been picking up here really bad lately. It's going to subside later, but when the winds pick up really bad, it blows that shoreline out pretty quick. So get out there early. And after it's over with, it blows out. It's pretty easy. Jump across to the east side, which is a 5-minute ride. You'll be out of the wind, back up shallow. You can probably go look for redfish and stuff. But got a picture here of, actually, this is my nephew. It's Chase Kinney. He's got to release a 28-inch trout when he was wading up over there in that 3 to 4 foot of water.
Nice.
So moving to offshore, guys, offshore conditions, it's been tough. It's been rough. It's been really hard to even get up, but it's going to subside. And when it does, I think it's going to be, phenomenal. State water snapper fishing will be turning on. Federal water snapper fishing is going to be opening up here real quick, first part of June. And we've actually had some ling already starting to show up. So talking about those state water, like I said, and snapper's been really good. Federal waters is coming June 1st, which is going to be opening up a whole lot more area to cover. Fish will be abundant all over there. As far as state water goes right now, until it opens up and fed, look for that structure, I always say it, but look for some good structure in that 3 to 9 foot of water. Eagle Claw trocar jig's working great. The lighter you can get away with it, the better. 1 to 3 ounce for those snapper. And if you're on anchor, especially if you're on anchor, you can really free line, get an Eagle Claw 10 to 12-aught circle hook, and just let it drift out the back freely. The key thing is freely. You got to just drift it out, let it free line. Once they bite and take off, just let them run, 10 feet, 20 feet, and just set it back up to the strike button on your pin reel, and it's going to self-set its hook. And it's really effective this way, especially when the currents are light and the fish are suspended there. You'll really improve your bite there. Moving over to ling, they're starting to show up. Had several buddies of mine call me up, and they've been seeing some, caught some, which is really good. It's kind of early, which is great. You can find these guys while you're snapper fishing. They're going to pop up out of nowhere. But if anything, look for structure, whether it's on the bottom, but especially floating debris. Throw some little chum out, fishing oil rig, anything you got there. But you can have a free line hook ready, just like you're snapper fishing with those Eagle Claws. Just have a bait ready to pitch out the back end, or you can use an Eagle Claw 1-ounce jig with a soft plastic curly tail. That'll get it vibrating and moving. They'll get attracted to that and really smack it. Especially when you get these guys, they're kind of really green when you get them in the boat. So remember, if you get them landed in the boat, they're legal size, go straight to the cooler with them because they'd like to really explode when they get in the boat. But the blue water's coming in soon, and I'll be getting some deeper reports out there as soon as we can get sneaking out there.
All right, thank you so much, Chad. We're going to go and take a look at the the lower coast hotspots from Chad's region. He says inshore, the trout bite is good along the west shoreline of the King Ranch area and Gladys Hole. And then offshore, there has been a few cobias, lings showing up and around the structure, and the state water snappers remains pretty good too.
I think it's all.
Who was working that net on that cobia?
I don't know. I don't think it was me. It wasn't me.
Brutal.
It definitely wasn't me.
That was brutal.
Well,
that was a big cobia.
I think they still caught it. You brought it in the boat.
I don't remember.
You didn't see it.
But what I do remember is how good our Castaway coffee is.
Well, maybe that will help you remember. Am I opening this, the one that Dave shook?
No. Dave is
Dave's
over there
opening
while
it.
Chad's giving his report,
They're not
shaking her up.
carbonated.
Well,
It's not
you
gonna
never
We
know.
ain't gonna find out.
Whatever.
Oh, come on, Rick, do it.
No.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. We will.
Keeps me up at night.
We'll see you next week. Go out there and catch some fish. Bye, y'all.
That's so good.
It's so good. I've had some.